After the boring international break, the Premier League action was back this weekend. The international matches breaks the momentum of a team while it also helps others get out of line of fire after a poor run of results. The weekend saw two big clashes as Manchester City hosted Liverpool, who were fresh off the 4-0 humiliation doled out to Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. Everton faced off with Spurs at Goodison Park, looking to bounce back after a disappointing performance against Chelsea. Other matches included Arsenal facing Bournemouth, league leaders Manchester United faced Stoke City, and Swansea hosting Newcastle. It was an action-filled weekend, so let's take a look at the 10 talking points from the Premier League Gameweek Weekend 4. Number 1. The Curse of the Ox. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joined Arsenal in 2011 from Southampton. On 28 August 2011, the winger made his debut for the Gunners in this match. Yes, he made his debut in the 8-2 annihilation of his team by Manchester United. Moving on to his last club for the Gunners. Arsenal faced Liverpool at Anfield in what would be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's last match for the club. The Gunners were terrible and were humiliated by the Reds 4-0. The curse of the Englishman would not leave him as he debuted for his new club Liverpool against Manchester City in a match they lost 5-0. Good luck, Liverpool. Number 2. Manchester City are on fire. Sadio Mane's red card may have been the catalyst for the 5-0 scoreline, but let's be fair to Manchester City. They are looking great in the attacking third of the pitch. The likes of Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Kevin De Bruyne, the Silva duo, David and Bernardo clicking fantastically well. Add to that, their new fullbacks, Walker and Mendy, have been brilliant. The Frenchman, Mendy, also got an assist in the match. The blue side of Manchester is just as great going forward as the red side, if not better. Agreed that Liverpool were down to 10 men and were in general very awful in the match, but Manchester City were devastating going forward in addition to being clinical in front of goal. Harry Kane scored? Must be September. It is a well-known fact that Harry Kane, the Tottenham Hotspur striker, loves the month of September. After ending another August without scoring, Case had finally found his scoring boots again. The Spurs striker scored for his country in the World Cup qualifiers a week ago and now has broken his duck for his club with a fortuitous goal against Everton. It was an attempted cross by the striker, but it ended up in goal. Spurs ran out comfortable 3-0 winners against Everton, and the Golden Boot winner of last season has begun his journey for another award come May 2018. Ronald Koeman in troubled waters. Everton had a decent start to the Premier League campaign. They won their first match and drew against Manchester City in the second. But then the performances in the next two matches was abysmal. Before the international break, they lost 2-0 to Chelsea and now they lost 3-0 to Spurs. Koeman's team had a grand total of one shot on target in the two matches. The Dutchman has spent a lot of money this season in order to compete with the big boys and is yet to deliver. He's not under any threat right now, but they face Manchester United next week, and if the result and the performance are not positive, Koeman might be looking over his shoulder very soon. Number 6. Watford on the upscale. The Hornets barely escaped relegation last season with 40 points, just 6 above relegated Hull City. They shipped in 68 goals last season under Walter Marazzi, who was sacked at the end of last season, continuing the ruthless streak of stacking managers after a single season dating back to the 2008 season. They appointed 40-year-old Marco Silva, who was in charge of relegated Hull last season and was one of the favourites to get the sack this season. He has led his team to a quiet but good start. They are yet to be beaten in 4 games and have won 50% of them. Watford fans will be hoping that this form of the team continues and they do not have to go through the headache of relegation come the business end of the season. Champions back in the groove. A shaky transfer window performance and an opening day defeat to Burnley, and suddenly the champions were thought to be in turmoil. 3 games later and everything seems to be rosy again. The new signings Morata and Bakayoko seem to be gelling well with the team. While Morata has 3 goals to his game, Bakayoko's presence in the team has helped Kante be even more effective. Antonio Conte, the Chelsea manager, had a few disagreements with the management regarding transfers, but that seems to be a thing of the past now. The Blues seem to be getting back in their groove, and after this win, they tend to become only the second team in 9 years to retain their Premier League title. Number 8. Arsenal bounce back. Before the international break, Liverpool trounced the Gunners 4-0 in what was described by many as the worst Arsenal performance under Arsene Wenger. For Wenger and his players, the international break came at the right time as it took them away from the criticism. They faced Bournemouth, who themselves were struggling in the league. Danny Welbeck opened the scoring with his shoulder and the Gunners took control of the game. The match was pretty much over in the first half itself. Arsenal now visit Chelsea next week in what would be the real test as to whether they have learned their lessons from the trouncing by Liverpool. Number 9. The juggernaut halted. 3 games, 3 wins, 10 goals scored and 0 conceded. The Red Devils were crushing everyone in their path and were early contenders for the top spot come May 2018. Stoke City, though, had other plans when they hosted the league leaders at the Britannia. Stoke took the lead and stalked Manchester United, who conceded their first goal in 534 minutes of Premier League football. The Red Devils equalised and took the lead, but Stoke equalised and held on for a valuable point. United looked a little rusty after the international break, and that cost them 2 valuable points and their perfect start to the season. Trigger-happy owners. Frank de Boer was appointed by Crystal Palace in June this year. On the occasion, owner Steve Parish said that the club needed to evolve over a period of time. Apparently, a period of time is not very long these days as the owners look for short-term fixes for long-term problems. Palace lost 1-0 to Swansea City in the match they should probably have won had it not been of some awful finishing. It was a good performance nonetheless. They dominated Swansea but just could not find the back of the net. In today's trigger-happy universe, that was the final straw for Frank de Boer. 4 losses out of 4 and no goals scored. Terrible? Yes. But 4 games is just too short to judge a coach, and it is just insane. Basically, all of the owner's statement at the time of the appointment were bullshit. 4 games to change a Sam Allardyce side. In freaking sane. That is the end then. 10 talking points from the Premier League weekend. We hope that Manchester City's goalkeeper Edison is okay after that move from Liverpool's Sadio Mane. That looked nasty. Hope you liked the video. Be sure to like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel to get updates from this channel. Until next time, this is Abhimanyu signing off.